So we're in this weird phase now in Florida. The fishing is still good depending on where you're at, but some lakes are really low because hurricane season's coming up. So they try to keep the lakes low in case we have a hurricane come in and we don't have to worry about draining the lakes. And the lakes can hold the amount of water that you could possibly get. And then other lakes like this one are actually up. This lake was down probably two feet, or at least it was 2 feet, almost 3 feet lower than what it is now, and now it's back up, which creates a bit of an issue when you're trying to locate fish. So the idea was that when the water was low, we fished the edge of the grass because we could clearly see it, and you wanted to fish the deeper edges because in this lake, a lot of the hydrilla, the edge makes a real hard edge of hydrilla. Like the fish can get into the hydrilla, but it's really, really thick. It's not really conducive to ambush hunting like bass do. So the big issue now is the water's up. The fish are still, for the most part, in some of the same places, but they also have the ability to move around. So now it's pinning down the fish. They aren't as concentrated as they once were. And, you know, we've had guides out on this lake that come out and they've gone in an hour or two. That we just had a guide leave here, and it's still early morning. So either they were out here before dark, which I think is highly unlikely, or they just weren't catching them. And we watched a guy down here not catch anything the other day, and then we rolled down there and we caught a couple. It's just, that's the nature of the beast right now. So today we're just going to try to see if we can hit some of the spots that we know about and see if we can't find some fish. Ideally, we want wind. This lake really isn't conducive or set up to fish when it's dead slick calm like this. At night, it's killer, but in the mornings, when it's like this, it's much more difficult, and that's just the natural cycle for this lake. So you can't see it, but even though this looks good through here, the hydrilla is like right under the surface. It's not really conducive to fishing, at least for bass. Like, I mean, like, it's super clear. The water is, hydrilla is literally probably 6 inches under the water top, like thick. So we need to find an edge here. Grass. I mean, right now, this is where knowledge of your local lakes, getting out and learning an area comes in handy, because this here, all this stuff here was not grown in with hydrilla a little while ago. In fact, there was no hydrilla, and I'm seeing spotty areas. It's much thinner over here than it is out there where it just came over, but this is what I want to know if there's a hard gap between hardline here and this stuff out in the middle. And then if it creates a little pocket of deeper water, or clearer water where bigger fish can kind of push around, hit bait fish on both the edge and then out in the middle. It's not hanging out over here, and I think mostly not hanging out over here because everything out there is up real high, and they're probably off the harder edge. It's sitting in deeper water where they can ambush probably a little bit easier.
Well, that's usually the deal here, though, bro. It's feast or famine. You'll either catch none, maybe one, or you'll catch a bunch.
Yeah, but for the last 2 months, I've been doing pretty good. We're at least, multiple bites.
Yeah.
Even on that.
We were entering into the...
All right. I mean, even
It's starting to slow down.
even that day came out and fished that tournament where I needed to somehow magically pull 90 inches out of my butt, but couldn't do it. Still did 70 something, and that's after that morning you said you only caught one, and Jay didn't do good either. No, that was a fish. It pulled 100%. Now, I don't know if it was a bass. I do know that it grabbed it and took off with it. I mean, we're almost topped out here too, so. Yep, did have one. Did have one. Woody's got one, so at least we have one fish. Oh, it's
Not a giant.
no, that's a good fish. All right, Woody had a fish.
Oh, 'cause I went for the net.
Should
Oh,
just
'cause I went for the net.
should just slung him.
Not 100% wrong, but
Got him. Saw him chasing bait. Absolute Florida giant.
never a good idea. I almost want to take a glance at the radar, but I never trust the radar anyway, because a lot of this shit just pops up out of nowhere and it's not even on the radar.
Yeah. I don't know if that's rain or if it's just like cloudy and it's building to it. It's not small. I don't think it's as big as we think it is. I think it's just fighting really hard. He did take like 5 foot of line with him though when he ran. He's running again. He might be bigger than I think he is too. But he got airborne, so. No, but he's pulling drag, and that's the thing that bugs me a bit. Yeah, I think he's down in it. We're gonna get a bass salad here. He's out.
And he's back.
I think he's just tied up in the grass now, and I'm just pulling him. No, it's a good fish. It's not a giant. He's fat. Just one fish. It's all we need. One good fish.
A lot of grass.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, give me some slack and I'll get that. So I can actually maneuver the net, because just reel me over.
I'm trying, man. It's got so much grass on it.
Oh my god. I'm trying not to lose it.
It's you're good. You're good. You're good. That's how much grass came with that fish.
My camera wasn't on.
Mine was.
That's alright.
Big head on this thing.
Yeah, they've all like that lately, bro.
Oh.
That's 6. Well, it's almost 6. Between 5.5 and 6. It's a decent fish.
Of course, just like everything else.
I'm just the net man now, I guess.
That's a good fish. Look at the size of the head on it compared to the body, though.
That fish should be 8 pounds, bro.
Yeah, this should easily be 8 pounds.
Yeah, it's like 5.5, 6 pounds.
Well, let's give him a.
Stupid Senko, right?
No, I was on the speed worm dragging it on the bottom, but he hit it on the fall. 5'9".
Yep, told you, bro. I'm getting good at that eyeball scale, man. Catch enough big fish and you start getting used to it.
Look at a length on her.
23.5.
23 and a half. She's got big shoulders. All right, I'm gonna let this one go.
Yeah, she's thick though.
Yeah, she's thick vertically. Let's put it that way. Not a ton of girth though. There she goes. We got some. Looks like some rain coming in behind us, but even if that's the only fish I catch today, it was a good day for me. I'll take it. Well, that's a pretty good fish, whether it's for a kayak tournament or just in general. Could have been thicker, but hey, is what it is. Woody's still trying to get his first fish. He's had 3 on.
That's because Woody's over here being a man throwing big baits, and you don't always land them on big baits.
He's on that big bait craze.
I'm actually not right now. I'm throwing a fucking
He's throwing a worm like I am right now, though.
But now I'm throwing a 10-inch worm.
And which way's it going?
That's what I'm trying to figure out right now.
If you're trying to see what we're trying to decide on here behind us, that's what we're trying to decide on right now.
That looks like that's about to start dumping.
Oh yeah, that's rain there.
Yeah. What I mean?
Yep.